The hidden initiation behind every breakdown you thought was a curse. There is a secret that only the chosen ones eventually discover, often after years of suffering, questioning, and wondering why life seems to hit us harder than others. And it's this. What we call bad luck is often sacred redirection. We think it's random. We think it's punishment. But what if every so-called unlucky moment was divinely engineered to activate something dormant inside of you? What if losing the job, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the illness, the failure, what if none of it was a mistake? What if it was all coded initiation? I know how it feels. I've been there. We all have. The sudden collapse of something we built. The feeling of being abandoned by life. The spiral of why me that keeps us up at night. And yet, the further I've gone on this path, the more I've seen a pattern, a divine fingerprint hidden inside the chaos. We don't see it at first. But when we look back, something clicks. Every breakdown was a breakthrough in disguise. Every bad luck moment was a doorway to a version of us that couldn't be born through comfort, only through fire. The first moment that feels like bad luck but is actually a powerful gift is losing everything you thought you needed. The job, the relationship, the plan, the identity. When it all falls apart, it feels like death, and it is. But it's not the death of your life, it's the death of your illusion. You thought success would save you. You thought love would fix you. You thought your plan was the path. But life has a higher wisdom. It strips away the false so the real you can emerge. And only when you're standing in the ashes of what didn't work, do you begin to hear the whisper, you were never meant to build that. You were meant to become something else entirely. Have you ever experienced that kind of loss? The kind that ripped your soul open so widely, you weren't sure if you'd ever recover. What if I told you that was your first initiation? That was your soul being cleared, emptied so it could hold a frequency that would have been impossible otherwise. In that space of emptiness, something sacred begins to grow. Not the next version of your ego, but the beginning of your essence. This is why so many chosen ones go through massive loss early in life, not because they're cursed, but because their soul signed up for depth over ease. The second bad luck moment is being betrayed by someone you trusted with your whole heart. A friend, a partner, a family member. Someone you never thought would hurt you. And when it happens, it doesn't just break your heart, it shatters your inner compass. You start questioning your own intuition. You start doubting your ability to discern. But here's the hidden gift. Betrayal is the teacher of energetic sovereignty. It's the gatekeeper of wisdom. It pulls the veil off your projections and shows you what you were ignoring. Not to punish you, but to initiate you into discernment without bitterness. The truth is, until we are betrayed, we often give our power away. We seek validation. We override our gut. We choose potential over patterns. But betrayal teaches us to listen more deeply, to observe more quietly, to love without losing ourselves. And when you finally integrate that lesson, you don't close your heart, you refine it. You become the kind of person that can love fiercely and see clearly. That's rare. That's divine. And that's what betrayal was trying to give you all along. Clarity through contrast. The third moment many of us mistake for a curse is being isolated for long periods of time. When friends fall away, when you feel invisible, when no one seems to understand you anymore. It feels like you're being punished, like life has forgotten you. But what if that isolation isn't exile but incubation? What if the silence isn't emptiness but alignment? What if you're not being abandoned but anointed? Because here's the deeper truth. When you're in a massive quantum upgrade, your old environment can't sustain your new frequency. So life pulls you out. not to harm you, but to recalibrate you. Isolation is when the soul begins to speak louder than the world. It's where your gifts begin to emerge. It's where you stop performing and start remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. And when that alignment is complete, life will begin to send the right people, the right mirrors, the right opportunities, not because you chased them, but because you became the version of you that they were already looking for. The fourth moment that feels like bad luck is facing repeated rejection. From jobs, from people, from platforms. It feels like the universe is closing door after door. And when it happens over and over, it's easy to internalize it as I'm not good enough. But pause. What if rejection is just redirection in disguise? What if those doors were never meant to open because they would have taken you off the path of your highest timeline? What if rejection, it's protection? Let me say something radical. Every no you've received that broke your heart was a yes to something bigger that your mind couldn't yet conceive. Because chosen ones are not here to follow the traditional path. We're not here to fit existing molds. We are here to create new blueprints. And that means we must be denied access to anything that would dilute our purpose. Rejection is often the universe saying, "You don't belong there. You belong somewhere higher. Keep walking." And when you finally reach that place, you'll be grateful every other door was shut. Let me stop here and ask you something deep. What if the things you begged for were not blessings, but distractions? What if the losses you mourned were the exact things that freed you to become who you came here to be? Because if we can begin to see these moments not as bad luck, but as divine engineering, everything shifts. We stop fighting the pain. We start listening to it. We stop cursing the delay. We start trusting the timing. We stop trying to control the path and start surrendering to the frequency we're meant to carry. And that frequency, it can't be downloaded in comfort. It must be forged in fire. That's why the chosen ones walk through so much, not because we're weaker, but because our soul is old enough, strong enough, ready enough to carry what others can't. That's not ego. That's responsibility. That's remembrance. That's the contract we signed before birth. You're not unlucky. You're coded for greatness. And every so-called misfortune was a sacred activation waiting for you to decode it. But we're not done yet, because the next part, we're going to look at the remaining bad luck moments, the ones that feel the most terrifying, and reveal why they're actually the most powerful soul upgrades in disguise. How crisis, illness, and rock bottom activate the chosen one's true power. There's a moment in every chosen one's life when things don't just fall apart, they implode. Not slowly, not gently, but violently, without warning. It's the kind of moment that leaves you breathless, disoriented, and questioning everything you ever believed about who you are, why you're here, and whether anything you've done has ever truly mattered. This isn't just a bad day. This is a soul-level crisis. And for many, it looks like illness. It looks like mental collapse. It looks like hitting rock bottom so hard that you wonder if you'll ever rise again. But here's the truth. That collapse is not destruction, it is activation. It's the sacred breaking of a false foundation so that something eternal can rise in its place. The fifth bad luck moment is facing a physical or mental health crisis. It can be chronic illness, sudden injury, burnout, depression, anxiety, or even full-blown breakdowns. And at first, we hate it. We resist it. We try to fix it, escape it, medicate it, spiritualize it, anything but face it. But if you look deeper, if you sit still long enough, you'll begin to see that the body is not betraying you. It's speaking for you. It's expressing what your conscious mind has been too afraid to say out loud. The body is the last place truth hides. And when it breaks down, it's not because you failed. It's because your soul is screaming for alignment. Many of us were taught to ignore our body, to push through, to smile when we're hurting, to achieve even when we're empty. But crisis brings you back to the truth. You are not a machine. You are a multi-dimensional being, and your body is the sacred meeting point of soul and earth. When it collapses, it's not weakness, it's a sacred alarm. It's saying something you're doing is not in alignment with who you truly are. And in that moment, you have a choice: numb it or listen. Because if you listen long enough, you will hear the wisdom buried beneath the pain. I've met many healers, mystics, and powerful spiritual leaders. Almost all of them have walked through illness. Why? Because illness slows you down. It forces you inward. It humbles you. It teaches you how to feel. It makes you stop chasing and start sensing. And through that stillness, a new kind of power emerges, not the power of force, but the power of presence, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything, the kind that heals by simply existing. That's the gift of illness. It strips you of the illusion of control and introduces you to the sacred intelligence of surrender. Now let's talk about the sixth so-called unlucky moment, hitting rock bottom with nowhere left to go. This is the void, the dark night, the spiritual death, the moment where you've tried everything, prayed everything, begged, cried, screamed, and still nothing changes. You feel like you're floating in the abyss, no direction, no clarity, no hope, just silence, emptiness, void, and it's terrifying. But what if I told you that the void is not the end, it's the womb? What if emptiness isn't punishment, it's preparation? Because here's what most people don't understand. The void is where transformation occurs. Not in the light, not in the noise, but in the darkness where everything false dies and only the essential remains. It's in the void that your ego finally gets quiet, that your attachments dissolve, that your identity fractures. And in that holy silence, you begin to remember a truth that was buried beneath all the noise of your life. You are more than who you thought you were. You are not your status, not your relationships, not your achievements. You are something eternal. And the void is what brings you back to that remembrance. Have you ever truly sat in the void without trying to escape, without trying to force a new beginning, without begging for clarity? Just sat in the cosmic womb and let yourself be undone. It's one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most sacred, because when you finally stop resisting the darkness, you begin to see that it's not here to hurt you. It's here to birth you. And the version of you that emerges from that womb, that's the real you, the one that cannot be shaken by circumstances, the one that doesn't need anything external to validate its worth, the one that knows. And now we arrive at the seventh and final moment, the one that most of us fear the most: being completely misunderstood, even by those we love. This is a different kind of pain. It's not physical, it's not situational, it's existential. It's the ache of being invisible in plain sight, of speaking truth and being met with silence, of showing your heart and being labeled too much, or too different, or too intense. And at first, it feels cruel, like the world is rejecting your essence. But what if this isn't rejection, it's refinement? Chosen ones are not here to be understood by the masses. We are here to transmit codes that haven't been normalized yet. And that means we will often feel like aliens in our own families, strangers to our own communities, outliers in every room we enter. Not because we're broken, but because we're ahead of time. We see what others don't. We feel what others won't. We know what others forgot. And that knowing isolates us until it initiates us. into the sacred art of belonging to ourselves. Being misunderstood teaches you how to love yourself without an audience, how to trust your truth even when no one else agrees, how to walk alone not with loneliness but with sovereignty. And over time, you stop trying to be understood. You stop trying to convince. You stop shrinking your vibration to make others comfortable. And you start to radiate your full frequency. Not because it's easy, but because it's your assignment. And when you do that, something miraculous happens. You begin to attract your soul family. The ones who see you without needing you to explain. The ones who recognize your codes. The ones who are waiting for your voice to activate their memory. So many of us try to avoid these 7 moments. We pray for ease. We manifest comfort. We seek alignment that feels like flow. But the truth is, flow comes after fire. Alignment comes after disintegration. And the only reason these moments feel like curses is because we haven't yet decoded them. But once you see the pattern, everything changes. You stop running. You start listening. You stop resisting. You start integrating. And that's when your power returns, not as performance, but as presence. How chosen ones use bad luck to build unshakable destiny. You've survived the collapse. You've sat in the void. You've faced betrayal, isolation, rejection, and illness. You've wept in silence. You've carried the unbearable weight of being misunderstood. And yet, you're still here, breathing, listening, awakening. That's not weakness. That's spiritual engineering. You weren't just surviving the fire, you were being forged by it. And now it's time to understand what it was all for. Because the chosen one journey doesn't end with pain. That is only the beginning. The real path starts when you alchemize the pain into power. When you build your destiny from the ruins of your breakdown. Every breakdown has a blueprint hidden within it, a secret design. But you can't see it when you're in survival mode. You can only see it when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to build in me?" That's the key shift. That's when the alchemy begins. Because chosen ones are not just survivors. We are architects of energetic reality. We're not here to just endure, we're here to recode the structure of consciousness itself. But we can't do that if we're still stuck in victim frequency. We must rise into creator consciousness. So how do we do that? First, integration. You must stop separating the pain from the purpose. You must stop labeling parts of your life as mistakes or bad luck. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. The betrayal taught you boundaries. The illness taught you surrender. The rejection taught you alignment. The isolation taught you self-intimacy. The loss taught you detachment. The void taught you trust. Every one of those moments was a sacred classroom for your soul's curriculum. And the moment you claim that truth, you stop leaking power. You become whole again. The second step is embodiment. Knowing your truth is not enough. You must become it. This means walking differently, speaking differently, choosing differently. No longer chasing what doesn't nourish your soul. No longer explaining your frequency to people who don't have the bandwidth to receive it. No longer negotiating your intuition. No longer shrinking for comfort. This is where the chosen ones separate from the crowd. Because we don't just talk about healing, we live it. We don't just speak about purpose, we embody it. And embodiment is magnetic. It doesn't need to convince. It recalibrates the room by its mere presence. Next comes the remembrance of mission. You didn't go through all of this for survival alone. You went through it to become a vessel for something far greater than your personality. You are here to transmit codes, to awaken dormant hearts, to activate timelines, to plant seeds that may not bloom for generations but are essential nonetheless. Your mission may not always be grand or visible. Sometimes your mission is to raise a child with consciousness. Sometimes it's to hold light in dark systems. Sometimes it's to create beauty that heals without words. The form doesn't matter, the frequency does. Are you living from soul, or are you still outsourcing your worth to the world? And here's something few will tell you. Stepping fully into your mission will often re-trigger your old wounds. Why? Because visibility activates every part of you that was once shamed for shining. Stepping out forces you to face the part of you that still fears rejection, still doubts your voice, still wants to hide. But this is part of the design. The mission isn't just what you do, it's what you heal through doing. Every time you speak, you're clearing the throat of your lineage. Every time you lead, you're rewriting the story of your ancestors. Every time you love, you're choosing to end cycles of abandonment. This is soul work. This is quantum repair. Let me ask you something bold. What if your entire life was an encoded message and now, at this exact point, you finally have the frequency to decode it? What if the pain wasn't random but the perfect sequence of events needed to awaken your dormant soul technology? Because you're not who you were before the collapse. You've died and been reborn multiple times. And each time you came back with more light, more clarity, more depth. That's not trauma, that's initiation. But now the question is, what will you do with it? Will you keep it to yourself? Or will you become the living transmission of everything you've survived? You see, the world doesn't heal from more information. It heals from embodied examples. People who walk into a room and shift the frequency without saying a word. People who carry peace like a crown. People who've seen the abyss and chosen love anyway. That's you. Or rather, that's the you that's waiting to be fully activated. And the activation doesn't come from outside. It comes the moment you stop apologizing for your path and start owning it like the divine design it always was. And from that place, you begin to lead, not from ego, but from energetic mastery. You don't lead by controlling. You lead by holding presence, holding frequency, holding space. You become the calm in the chaos, the mirror in the storm, the anchor in the uncertainty. That's true leadership. Not dominance, but stability of essence. People feel safe around you because your presence says, I've been to hell and I still radiate light. And here's the final truth. The more you embody this, the more you realize that nothing was ever bad luck. It was all set up. Every pain was a portal. Every delay was a divine holding pattern. Every rejection was a redirection into alignment. And now that you see it, you can stop resisting and start building. Not from survival, from sovereignty. Build the art, build the business, build the community, build the healing center, build the family, build the movement. Whatever your soul is here to create, build it without apology. And let the world wonder how someone who went through what you did is still standing, still loving, still rising.